conversation with Rakesh Kumar Singh, the DIPP secretary, right here at the World Economic Forum in Davos. He's been meeting with a number of global and Indian business leaders. So give us a sense of what's top of mind. What are global business leaders you've been meeting with, investors you've been meeting with? What are their, sentiments about India? What are they looking to do? What are their asks?
I think investors across the world and from India are overwhelmingly bullish about India and its growth prospects, given the fact that it is delivering sustained growth momentum and given the tailwinds that it has in terms of a combination of huge public capital formation through investments in digital and physical infrastructure, combined with a young and growing population, and huge momentum in individual sectors of the market, whether it's consumer electronics, whether it is food processing, whether it is pharma and medical devices, many of which is triggered by government initiatives in areas like ease of doing business and also on the supply side through incentives schemes like the PLI incentive scheme, the semicon mission, etc.
Right. You mentioned that investors here are overwhelmingly bullish on India. But in terms of the feedback, as far as, what's next on the ease of doing business, what other reforms are top of mind for them, what's the sense you get?
I think overwhelmingly business is grateful for the initiatives that this government has taken in terms of bringing ease of doing business reform at the state level, particularly through the ease of doing business rankings that we do, which enables us to sort of nudge the states into bringing in things like online building permits, in terms of providing a variety of other online services, in reducing intrusive inspections, and ensuring a more transparent and objective way of handling the industry. The areas of concern essentially are that policies should stay stable, should stay predictable, that they should not change, that taxes, for example, should not be a matter of, reopening or old issues or going in for retrospective taxation. And occasionally there are concerns about local level issues in terms of environment clearances, land-related issues, etc. But overwhelmingly, the industry has tremendous gratitude for the ease of doing business reforms that Government of India has done in terms of easing the compliance burden, in terms of decriminalization under the General Assurance Bill. And their hope really is that we should stay the course on many of these reforms.
Right. Are there also concerns about, series of tax notices that companies have been getting that perhaps we have an overzealous tax administration? Is that a point of concern at all?
I did mention that the area of tax reform and the way it is being applied is one area of concern, along with, to a lesser extent, issues in relation to environmental clearance mechanisms and land-related issues. At a broader level, there has been concern in the past in terms of our ease of doing business reforms also, in areas like contract enforcement, where our rank is still relatively low compared to other areas like, providing online services, where we have really sort of moved up the rankings. So those are areas of concern, but let me stress that the largest tax reform in India's history, GST, has just been, has now started, has matured, it has delivered. The long lines of truckers at state checkposts have disappeared. We've really started creating a national market in an effective manner. And some of these concerns that are raised will hopefully be resolved in the not too distant future.
Right. So also give us an update on how we are taking this whole single window clearance, country-specific desks forward in enabling businesses to set up shop in India.
So National Single Window now covers all of our central ministries, 32 of them. Most of our states have also onboarded. In some cases, the onboarding is only in terms of linking the portals, and it is not API based, which is what we are trying to achieve in the near future. In terms of investment promotion, we have specific desks in Invest India for countries like Korea and Taiwan, which are of particular, or of interest to us in terms of their expertise and their investment capabilities in strategic sectors like semiconductors, etc. So yeah, I mean, all those moves are being made to enhance FDI into India, which was, you will recall, as high as $84 billion in 22-23. There's a dip thereafter because of a variety of global factors, but we expect the trend to remain highly buoyant in the future as well.
Okay. Also, give us an update on Tesla, sir. For many months, there's been buzz. Will they set up in this state, that state? What kind of benefits are they seeking? What kind of exceptions they are seeking? Where are we when it comes to bringing Tesla to India?
This is still at a negotiation stage, and in the course of sensitive negotiations like this, we really can't get ahead of ourselves and start talking about what the final formula will be. As I always say about this issue, whatever incentive mechanisms are put in place by government will be applicable for all players and not only for any particular company.
Right. There's also been a wait for the e-commerce policy. Again, when can we expect this to, be notified?
I can only say that it is at a fairly advanced stage, but the exact dates are very difficult to, predict.
Right. Final couple of questions, sir. There's also been a growing buzz in India's electronics ecosystem. Most of the activity is happening in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra, and Gujarat. So again, is there an effort to make it more broad-based, to take it to other states in the north and the east?
I think through our either doing business rankings mechanism for states, we've created this very healthy competition. And you've also seen increasingly that most states are doing these investor meets on the pattern of, Vibrant Gujarat and various other states as well have their own brands up and running. In terms of electronics ecosystems, yes, southern states have taken the bulk of the investment so far because of a combination of factors. But increasingly, there is those ecosystems are also emerging in states like Uttar Pradesh as well. So yeah, I mean, any state which is able to provide a facilitated business environment will reap its dividends fairly soon.
Right. A question on the Startup India initiative. So I think it's been 8 years since the Startup scheme, India's scheme started. What are we going to do to encourage more domestic sources of funding? Because predominantly a majority of funding comes from foreign sources. While companies are sort of flipping back to India, what else can we do to boost domestic pools of capital?
So some kind of reverse flipping, as you mentioned, is beginning to happen. Our offshoring of some of our financial transactions through GIFT City is going to help in some of our startups being able to stay in India and raise funds through the GIFT City mechanism. In addition, the way I see it, in the future, you will have more relaxed, listing norms for companies, and as a result of which, many of these very promising e-commerce and startups in general with a promising revenue stream and a promising idea should be able to raise funds through IPOs as well in the not-too-distant future.
Right. Finally, sir, since, AI has been a dominant theme this time, even on the promenade, is that also a part of, the discussions that you're having with investors, with companies on the role that India can play when it comes to AI?
So AI is a theme which kind of cross-cutting across areas like industrial processes, Industry 4.0, supply chains and logistics, things like that. India's DPI gives it digital public infrastructure, enables it, in our view, to leverage huge volumes of data that is available to train some of these large language models and AI models to work on Indian data to create good use cases for India. And we hope that this is going to happen. The indications I have is that Indian industry's willingness to adopt AI is perhaps one of the foremost in the world. So we certainly expect the trend towards AI to be a net positive for the Indian economy and for the manufacturing sector in particular.
Right. On that note, thank you very much, sir, for talking to us. Thank you, sir.